Hello everyone, I welcome you to Knowledgist. So today we will be discussing the Hindu editorial and vocabs. So to download the PDFs, join the Telegram channel Knowledgist, and for regular classes you can subscribe the YouTube channel. Today there are two editorial topics. The first one is between word and intent on CJI remarks on legislative debates, while the second one is doctor at the door on doorstep healthcare delivery. So let's get started with the vocabs. So the first word is bemoan. Bemoan is a verb. It means to complain or express sadness about something. आप किसी भी चीज को लेके दुख प्रकाश कर रहे हो, then it is called bemoan, mourning. Okay. So the synonyms for bemoan will be lament, mourn, deplore, while the antonyms will be applaud, cheer, and rejoice. Then the next word is pushed through. Pushed through is a phrasal verb. It means to succeeding, getting a law, agreement, etc. accepted quickly, although a lot of people oppose it. किसी भी चीज में आप सक्सेस बहुत जल्दी हासिल कर रहे हो while getting a law or agreement, जबकि बहुत सारे people उसे oppose कर रहे हैं, लेकिन आपका वो बहुत ही जल्दी एक्सेप्ट हो गया है, तो फिर हम उसे क्या कहते हैं, pushed through. So it means succeeding or getting a law in a very quick manner. Then the next word is fret over. Fret over is a phrasal verb. It means to feel anxious or concerned about someone or something. आप किसी भी चीज को लेके anxious हो, concern दिखा रहे हो, किसी भी एक लोग को लेके या फिर किसी चीज को लेके, then it is called as fret over. It's a phrasal verb. So the synonyms for this will be worry, agonize, anguish, while the antonyms will be delight, pacify, and please. Then the next word is discontent. Discontent is a noun. It means dissatisfaction with one's circumstances, lack of contentment. किसी भी एक circumstances को लेके आप dissatisfied हो, तो वो dissatisfaction को हम discontent कहते हैं. So the synonyms will be unhappiness, displeasure, resentment, while the antonyms will be contentment, satisfaction, and happiness. Then the next word is struck down. Struck down is a phrasal verb. It means to invalidate a ruling or law. आप किसी भी एक रूल या लॉ को क्या कर रहे हो, इनवैलिडेट कर रहे हो. ओके, इलीगल प्रूफ कर दे रहे हो, इलीगल मान रहे हो, then it is to struck down. So the synonyms for struck down will be unenforceable, nullify, illegal, while the antonyms will be allowed, approved, and endorsed. Then the next word is stray. Stray is a verb. It means to move about aimlessly or without any destination. किसी भी बिना aim, कोई भी बिना aim रखे हुए आप ऐसे ही, या फिर एक मतलब एक destination नहीं है, एक aim नहीं है, आप ऐसे ही भटक रहे हो, then it is to call stray. Okay, so to move about aimlessly or without any destination. So the synonyms for stray will be random, freak, casual, haphazard, while the antonyms will be adhere, abide, and stick. Then the next word is proximity. Proximity is a noun. It means nearness in space, time, or relationship. किसी भी चीज में आप closeness बढ़ा रहे हो, nearness हो रही है किसी भी space में या फिर time या relationship में, तो फिर हम उसे proximity कहते हैं. Then the next word is frailties. Frailties is a noun. It means an imperfection or blemish. किसी भी चीज में imperfection है, blemish है, दाग है, तो फिर हम उसे क्या कहते हैं, frailties कहते हैं. So the synonyms for this will be infirmity, weakness, incapability, while the antonyms will be strength and healthiness. Then the next word is debilitating. Debilitating means it's an adjective, though it is, and though the word consists of ing, still it's an adjective. It means making someone very weak and infirm. किसी भी चीज को weak कर दे रहे हो, कोई लोग जो कि किसी एक डिजीज या फिर कंडीशन जो कि एक लोग को क्या कर दे रहा है, बहुत ही वीक कर दे रहा है या फिर इन्फर्म कर दे रहा है, then it is called debilitating. Then the synonyms for this word will be weakening, draining, exhausting, tiring, while the antonyms will be restorative, strengthen, and invigorate. Then the next word is tenacious. Tenacious, OUS has, so it's an adjective. It means stubborn or persistent. So the synonyms for tenacious will be viscous, claggy, adhesive, and clinging, while the antonyms will be loose, weak, and irresolute. Then the last word is paramount. हमने ये word पहले भी पढ़ा है. It's an adjective. It means more important than anything else. आप किसी भी चीज को superior मान रहे हो, then it is paramount. तो किसी भी चीज को आप बहुत ही important मान रहे हो और भी किसी दूसरी चीजों से, then it is called paramount. So the synonyms will be supreme, cardinal, foremost, prime, and the antonyms will be subordinate, minor, and inferior. So let's move to the first editorial. It is about between word and intent on CJI remarks on legislative debates. Chief Justice remarks on legislative debates flag need for clarity in lawmaking. तो जो भी ये lawmaking है उसमें जो भी legislative debates हैं वो flag need मतलब they are flagging means they are asking for more clarity. The disquiet over the absence of adequate debate or discussion in Parliament is quite widespread. Concerned citizens and sections of the opposition bemoan the evident haste with which laws are pushed through. Presiding officers fret over the low productivity due to time lost amidst unruly protests, and even government representatives may worry that their legislative agenda is not being carried out in time. So here government representatives are quite worried because of the agenda not being carried out in a particular time. The Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramanna, has added a new dimension to this sense of discontent by pointing out the absence of any help from parliamentary debates when the courts are faced with ambiguities or lacunae in laws. So, what he has decided, he have added a new dimension to the sense of discontent by pointing the absence of the parliamentary debates when the court face any kind of ambiguities or gap or lacuna in laws. His description of a sorry state of affairs would resonate as crucial pieces of legislation are indeed passed without sufficient debate and often with nothing more than a minister's brief reply or a mere assurance in response to any concern raised by some members. The CJI's concern was possibly occasioned by some specific laws such as the Tribunals Reforms Bill recently passed with a few clauses struck down by the Supreme Court. However, the import of his observation at a celebration to mark the 75th Independence Day was that when the courts were unable to fathom the intent behind some laws, the parliamentary record could throw some light if the debates were sufficiently enlightening. He referred to the illuminating debate on the Industrial Disputes Act as an example. It is quite true that a fuller debate in the legislature would provide greater insight into the intent behind laws, but a situation that requires a scrutiny of such intent ought not to arise in normal circumstances. Legislation should be drafted clearly, and the letter of the law should not stray much beyond its purpose and scope. So, what it is said that legislation must be drafted in a clear and precise manner, and the letter of law should not stray, means it should not be random or it should not be it should not be casual or in a haphazard manner. It should be clear and precise. A purposive interpretation of statute is normally required only when the wording of the law is unclear. Otherwise, reliance on House committee reports or parliamentary debates is only an extrinsic aid and not fully determinative of a law's meaning. In a recent example, the Supreme Court ruled that the 102nd Amendment to the Constitution ousted the power of state governments to identify backward classes, even though it was vehemently argued by the government that it was not Parliament's intention. It highlights the need to have the wording of the law fully reflect the legislative intent. More than the quality of debate, it is the scope for detailed discussion that imparts clarity and a much needed proximity to the original intent and purpose to any statute. For this, it is vital that important pieces of legislation are scrutinized by standing committees, which will have the advantage not only of eliciting replies from the executive, but also inputs from the wider civil society before the statute is framed. So what it is said that on 75th year of independence, the CJI and NV Ramanna expressed unhappiness at the increased lack of debates in the Indian Parliament and also in the state assemblies while laws are being enacted. Okay, so he have showed his unhappiness in the increased lack of debates. And what have he said? He said that in the past, parliamentaries and legislature would discuss and debate on bills in both the houses of parliament and in various state assemblies, which what it helped? It helped the courts to comprehend better the intent and object of the law. So it तो पहले क्या होता था कि वो डिस्कशन होती थी, डिबेट्स होती थी among the on the bills in both the houses of the parliaments and also in various state assemblies. And वो क्या help करता था? It helped the courts to comprehend better the intent object of the laws. ये comprehend करने के लिए ये सब object of the laws को और भी comprehend and better करता था. He have also said that in the same way, different legislature used to be deliberated, so the burden of the courts while the interpreting of implementations of the laws used to be less. तो पहले क्या होता था, ये जो भी burden था ये कम था. And now he have also said that it is a sorry state of affairs. Means there is no clarity regarding the laws, and the top judge has said that this is a consequence of the absence of intellectuals and visionaries from houses of parliament and assemblies. So he have said that it is there is some lacking, and there is some absence of intellectuals and visionaries from houses of parliament assemblies, and which will have the advantage not only of eliciting replies from the executive, but also inputs from the wider civil society before the statute is framed. So Knowledgist के नए बैच कोर्स शुरू हो गए हैं. आप YouTube में जाके सर ने सिलेबस डिस्कस किया है, आप उसे देखें. आप Knowledgist ऐप डाउनलोड कर लें ताकि आप वहां से लाइव और रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस देख सकते हो. You can also join the test series to boost your preparation. While if you will use the code new10, then you will get a special 10% off. Then the next editorial is about doctor at the door on doorstep healthcare delivery. Doctor at the door on doorstep healthcare delivery. So doorstep healthcare delivery can mitigate the effects of disruption caused by pandemics. So let's read. Long before the pandemic struck, health experts had warned of a health epidemic, one that involved non-communicable diseases, NCDs. The last 2 years, however, managed to expose the frailties of even robust health systems in the country that saw not one, but two debilitating waves of COVID-19. It also exposed the chinks in what was traditionally believed to be the armor of healthcare institution-based treatment. When access to this institution was severed all of a sudden, states had to introspect about how they could bolster their healthcare setup in ways that would protect it from such disruptions. तो जब ये मतलब क्या हुआ, जब severe हो गया, then they were worried about how to protect and overcome these disruptions. For Tamil Nadu, this introspection resulted in its Makalai Thedi Marutuvam scheme. It is a scheme that was launched in Tamil Nadu, and it was about a community-based intervention to tackle and treat NCDs. NCDs means, as we read, non-communicable diseases, and to address the crucial issues of prevention and early detection, ताकि उसे एड्रेस कर दें, ताकि वो जो भी इश्यूज हैं, जो भी उसके लिए प्रिवेंट के लिए उसका प्रिवेंशन निकल जाए, और ये जो भी अर्लियर उसकी मतलब डिटेक्ट भी हो जाए. Inaugurated by Chief Minister M.K. Stalin earlier this month. ये कब inaugurate हुआ था? इस महीने से पहले ही ये inaugurate हुआ है. It involves a tentative budget in excess of 250 crore. तो फिर ये 250 crore बजट का एक स्कीम लॉन्च किया गया है. It includes population based screening for the 18+ population for 10 common conditions. तो इसमें जो भी है, तो 18+ पॉपुलेशन पर 10 कॉमन कंडीशंस. ये जो क्या है कंडीशन? हाइपरटेंशन, डायबिटीज, ओरल, सर्विकल एंड ब्रेस्ट कैंसर, टीबी, लेप्रोसी, chronic kidney disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, mental health, and the delivery of hypertension or diabetes drugs to patients aged 45+. तो फिर जो भी 45+ एज्ड हैं उनके लिए डिलीवरी भी होगा, जो भी हाइपरटेंशन और डायबिटीज ड्रग्स पेशेंट है, to those with restricted or poor mobility. The state, which has a high burden of NCDs, also acted on data that indicated very low community control rates for hypertension 7.3% and diabetes 10.8% among patients. Once the tenacious link between NCDs such as uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension and COVID-19 outcomes was apparent, it became clear that control of these health parameters was paramount and would necessitate uninterrupted access to healthcare services. According to the India Health of the Nation States report in 2016, 55% of the total disease burden in India was caused by NCDs. तो फिर ये जो भी 55% of ये जो भी disease burden के लिए ये सब NCDs के वजह से हुआ है, with the burden of NCDs increasing across all states from 1990 to 2016. और ये burden ज्यादा ही increase हो रहा है कब से? 1990 से लेके 2016 में रिकॉर्ड किया गया है कि ये ज्यादा ही बढ़ता चला जा रहा है. The disruption of access to healthcare during the pandemic did affect compliance to drug regimes and led to uncontrolled disease, with implications for quality of life too. It is ideal that nations prepare themselves to face further epidemics that might occur and cause similar disruptions in society by arming themselves to overcome such drawbacks. तो फिर एक क्या करनी चाहिए उन्हें? It is ideal that nations should prepare themselves. Nations को क्या करनी चाहिए? ये सब epidemics जो भी हो रही है, it might occur in future, so उसके लिए उन्हें अलार्म रहना चाहिए और ये सब ना हो, ये disruptions ना हो, इसीलिए उन्हें overcome करना चाहिए और इसकी drawbacks जो भी है उसे निकालना चाहिए. The Tamil Nadu initiative is a well-meaning notch in trying to address this. The efficacy of its chosen method of door delivery of drugs has been proven earlier with the supervised drug regime or DOTS therapy used in tuberculosis control. Ultimately, the success of a well-conceived program rests in the proper implementation of each of its components. If Tamil Nadu is able to demonstrate with this scheme that it is possible to maintain the continuum of care even in most trying of circumstances, then here is a model that could inspire other states to follow suit. तो फिर अगर तमिलनाडु ऐसे कर सकता है, then it is a model that could inspire other states to follow the same thing. So IDBI के जो full course और test series अगर आप लोगे और coupon code IDBI use करोगे, then you will get a 20% discount. So join the Telegram channel Knowledgist. Also follow us on Facebook. Kindly subscribe this channel if you are new to this channel, and also like the video and share with everyone. Keep noting these vocabs in a daily basis ताकि आपको जो भी आप इंग्लिश में जो vocabs के लिए बहुत ही problems होते हैं, तो अगर आप learn करोगे, revise करोगे, then it will be very beneficial for you. So thank you. Have a good day. Keep reading. Stay safe.